next session is going to be on Defeat the Status Quo, Marketing for Tomorrow's World. People today prefer tailored experiences that speak directly to their needs and interests at any given time instead of being marketed to them. The secret to success in the future will be to challenge the established quo by bidding goodbye to conventional marketing strategies. And to do this, you must incorporate personalization, automation, and predictive analytics into your daily strategy. And this session is by Samina Chowdhury, and we'll help you to learn how to do it in real time. So Samina, if you would like to come up to the stage, please. She's a top agent partner and luxury home marketing agent at Keller Williams Lucido Agency and our Marketing 2.0 conference gold sponsor. Samina, would you like to come up to the stage, please? Thank you so much. Do you want to play?
I see most of you here, you are from marketing, and I'm in sales. So basically, I'm like a customer to most of you, basically. And I'm going to show you my angle working in sales, how I used marketing to promote myself. I have been fortunate in my career to achieve success that most agents are striving for. I'm in real estate, and today I'm going to tell you how I did it. Now, more importantly, I want you to know that this is something that anyone in sales can do. I did not create any genius program, nor am I uniquely special. Anybody can adapt to what I did in sales through marketing. I just figured out my authentic self, who am I, where I came from, and that allowed me to work differently and do business differently. Defeating the status quo. What we've been doing is traditional way of marketing, and slowly, if we don't get out of it, our businesses are going to get obsolete in 10 years. So that is my topic, defeating the status quo. Instead of maintaining the status quo and getting obsolete, we're going to defeat the status quo, build new empire. And this is an empire that anybody can build in their business. Now, breaking the status quo, doing things differently, not only gave me a chance to be the #1 agent in my team, but I'm the #1 agent in a team in Keller Williams being in 160 countries in the world, and I'm a top agent in the #1 Keller Williams team in the world. So a little bit about myself, where I come from. I am an immigrant that moved to the US about 30 years ago. I went and moved to the US with a dream. I'm originally, my maternal side is from India. I was born in India, raised in Bangladesh. My father is from Bangladesh. And I speak 5 languages. Urdu, Hindi, Bengali, Arabic, and I went to an English medium school, so I speak English as well. In fact, when I was growing up, our principal used to say that anybody asks you if you speak English, let them know you speak the Queen's English. So what sets me apart? As a top producer, I have been able to be featured in Forbes, Baltimore Real Producers Magazine, being in Maryland, the most prominent city there is Baltimore. And Baltimore Real Producers Magazine had me as a cover story with 6 pages article inside. Then Yahoo, and then Top 100 magazine. And eventually I got to speak just recently. My TEDx talk came out, and I was featured for my branding in the New York Weekly magazine. Uh, Bob Lucido team um, is a team which is driven by integrity, knowledge, and results. A little bit about my path. I um, I came to the US. I went to the US around 30 years ago. Like I said, I had a dream to make it big. And I came from a family where my father is a prominent figure back home in Bangladesh. And for me, it was very important that I build my own name in a country where nobody really cares who my father is. And I wanted people to know me and achieve something on my own without being overshadowed by my father's name. And the only way I did that is by working differently. When I got into real estate, Maryland is a state where 12,000 agents are there. And my first question to myself was, there are 12,000 agents. Why would anybody want to work with me? What makes me unique? And that's when I started brainstorming and thinking, okay, I'm an immigrant, a first generation immigrant. And I represent a lot of different category of crowd. First of all, first generation immigrant. Secondly, new to the US, who's uprooted her culture and heritage and moved to a new country. Women empowerment, serving the women community. So all these went through my head. And that's when I decided that what makes me unique is that I take people's culture and heritage and fit it into today's American homes. That is what makes me unique. I can tell a first generation immigrant that what you just left back home, you don't have to sacrifice that. I'm going to make you see how to get your American dream, but not sacrificing your culture and heritage. So I started marketing and eventually got to my real estate success. As you can see, I worked with Keller Williams for the last 20 years and received quite a few accolades. One of the most prominent ones is the Millionaire Award, Agent Medal. It is the highest medal that Keller Williams gives to any individual agent working in real estate for Keller Williams. And to achieve that, I had to not only continuously refine my skills, but also the fact that Keller Williams has this mantra that top agents in the company has to teach. And that itself started building my confidence, that I realized that yes, what I'm doing, I am good at it. And let me keep taking it to the next level by refining my skills. So, what is the status quo? It's traditional marketing, print ads, postcards, newsletters. Uh, they have slow growth period, slow results. It gives you slow results. And in most cases, I started to think that what does it get me? When I receive postcards, and I'm telling you from a consumer's perspective, I get a lot of mail. And I don't know about any one of you, but me, when I bring my mail, I'm right in front of the trash can. I'm like, okay, trash, 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 trash. Most of the time, these postcards don't even get seen because there's so many of them, so many magazines and everything that, they just don't get seen. So, what stops that from happening? One traditional marketing that still I see will move to the next stage, which will still get into where we are breaking the status quo, is handwritten notes. You have to picture this. Somebody is having a bad day at work. He comes home, he's checking his mail, he's going through the mail, and then stops, like, oh, handwritten mail. He opens the mail, and sometimes it's just even a one liner. I was just thinking about you. Hope you had a great day. That person probably had a bad day, but that note touched his soul. So that only that traditional marketing, I feel, will stay and move to the future. Others will slowly slide by. And you have to understand the fact that this person, whoever wrote that note, wrote the note, put it in an envelope, walked to the mailbox, put it in the mailbox. That is the effort they made. And this stays with that person, that he took the time where everybody is busy nowadays. That person took the time to write me a note and touched that person's soul. Uh, I write 5 notes a day, irrespective of who I met. I write 5 notes a day, and it's become a habit now that I get calls now because people appreciate a conversation probably I had over the phone, and I close it with a handwritten note. They appreciate that the conversation I had, I listened, and I wrote a note to that topic, and I sent it to that person. That person will remember. So that will stay in going to the next level of marketing and breaking the status quo. So, marketing for tomorrow's world. I'm going to take you part by part in what I did differently to market to tomorrow's world. And I went from 20 million in volume sales, 20 million in sales to 50 million in sales in a course of 2 years. Although keep in mind, I've been in business for 20 years. But in 2 years, I broke that status quo and moved to the next level with strategic planning. Number one is press. Now, most people will say, oh, I don't have time. I don't have time to call the press and talk to the press and tell them my pitch that I'm so and so. Let me have uh, an opportunity to write an article for you or get interviewed to write an article in a newspaper or a magazine. But I say you're wrong. in that aspect. Press can take you to a level where people will change their perspective when it comes to marketing. I'll give you an example. I was vice president for our county Muslim council for 7 years. I built a network, a database who I marketed to sell houses. And a few people came, uh, used my services, and I sold houses to them. But I wanted to move to a level of regular sales to luxury marketing. So, um, one of my mentors, I was talking to him, and he asked me, this was in 2020. He asked me, Samina, how many houses did you sell this year? And mind you, 2020, this is bang in between COVID. Okay? I said, I sold 50 houses this year. And his reaction was, you sold 50 houses? I said, yes. He again asks me, you sold 50 houses? I said, yes. And he's like, why are you here asking me what to do? I said, because I'd rather sell 30 houses and make money like I sold 80. So help me get to that level. And the advice he gave me was, he first asked me, what defines luxury in your market? And I said, as soon as you go to 800,000 or more, that defines luxury. So then he said, fine, you are going to use the power of social media to tell these people that you're a luxury agent. And what he told me was, I will sell the 200,000 houses, 300,000, $600,000 houses, but every time I break the barrier and sell a house which falls into the luxury category, he told me, shout it off the mountains. What does he mean by shout it off the mountains? What he meant was, put it in Instagram, put it in Facebook. I just sold this, just sold this. So I'm constantly changing people's perspective. Am I selling a $400,000 house? Absolutely I am. Am I selling a 200? Absolutely I am. But I'm not putting that in Facebook or Instagram. I'm putting only the houses that I sold in the luxury category and shouting it off the mountains. Lo and behold, this database that I gathered, that niche marketing that I gathered 7 years ago, they started calling me. Oh, you sold that $1 million house? Come sell mine. Oh, you did this? You're a part of our community. Come sell. This year, the amount of $1 million plus houses I've sold, I've not sold in 20 years. The power of press. What I did last year was, I gathered a list of 30 magazines and newspapers that write about real estate or something to do with real estate. And what I started doing is, I started pitching to them. But before I pitched to them, what I did was, I created a press kit. Now, most of you will say, what is a press kit? A press kit is a small brochure, digital or print, that I can send to a journalist or somebody who's a podcast host and tell them that, look, this is who I am. This is, this is what I've earned in my career. And if you have any topic that you want me to talk about, I'm here to get interviewed or talk about it when it comes to real estate or my market. I did a few podcasts. Some people were wowed by my resume. I did a few podcasts, they liked it. And then I was called to a few seminars to go and speak, but nothing really happened in print. But all of a sudden, this January, I got Forbes. What did I do with Forbes? I leverage press with press to get more press. I leverage this press to get more press. All those people I contacted, now I put this in my press kit, updated my press kit, and I said, hey, remember me when I was telling you that I can talk about real estate? Well, somebody beat you to it. Forbes did. Do I still stand a chance in your press after Forbes? And that's when I got top 100 magazine and Yahoo. I got Silicon Valley Review magazine, Baltimore Real Producers magazine. All these magazines started evolving and coming and starting to write about my unique journey, where I showed them that how I use my authentic self and marketed myself to my niche community. Next is community engagement. Community engagement, what I did was I thought, how do I get my face and connect it with my name? Because what was happening, a lot of people in my industry said, oh, I know Samina Chowdhury, but they didn't know this face. How do I get this face to connect with Samina Chowdhury, the name? So I started doing community events. Food drives. I went and to the local mosque and I said, let's do a food drive. Let me bring the food to the mosque and let the mosque collect it and take it to the local food bank and donate it in the name of the community. So when I was gathering the food from different families that, I'm doing this, the community started seeing my face and connecting the name with the face. That this is a person who's giving back to the community. We need to help this person stay in business. So I started doing food drives. One of my colleagues that I recently hired in my Samina Sales team, she's new to the business. I've been there, I've built my database, but she has not, she's just started to do that. I asked her the question, how many houses are there in your neighborhood? And she said about 300. So I said, okay, great. 300 families know you. And she said, no, maybe 3 or 4 families know me. I'm like, what? Now let's start thinking, how can those 300 families start to know who their local in the neighborhood real estate agent is? Let's start to strategize that. When we sell a house, we use a title company to do the settlement for us. I picked up the phone, called this title company. I said, listen, I do a lot of business with you. I bring all my settlements to you. When I make money, I make sure you make money too. Would you collaborate with me? And let's do an ice cream social in this community of 300 homes. They paid for the ice cream truck and the ice cream. I bought the ice cream truck right in front of my colleague's house. Called the whole community and said, hey, school opened last week. The kids are back to school. Let's get these kids to have some fun over the weekend. Get them to come and have some ice cream. About 60 families came that day within the neighborhood. Came, had ice cream at the title company's expense, got to know us as the local real estate agents, and signed up for my newsletter, the e-newsletter. So now I have them in my database, and the others who couldn't make it still got to know how wonderful the event was. About 10, 20 more joined later, the e-newsletter. That was another event. Local churches and mosques. You know, these churches and mosques, they are every year trying to raise money to do events and stuff. What I did with them is I said, look, here's a check. Thank you for coming to me, and I'm happy to contribute, but this is only a small amount. Let me teach you how to get a bigger amount in future. What I told them was, if you market me in the community, through the churches, through the mosques, every family that buys a house or sells a house through me I will donate $1,000 to the church or the mosque. That started picking up. Then there is happy hours in the US. People love after work, they go to the happy hour, they drink, they relax. I started doing first-time home buyer seminars, teaching new people how they should stop renting, because the rent that they're putting, they'd rather buy and gain equity and take tax deduction. Gave them the value of buying houses. So that happens now on a monthly basis. So these are community events we did. Then came B2B business relationships. Bob Lucido team, the team I work in, I have a team under a team, the Samina Sales team under the Bob Lucido team of Keller Williams Lucido agency. We are being the top Keller Williams team in the world. Gary Keller of Keller Williams allowed us to expand slowly through US and then globally. So wherever I go, what I do is I build a relationship with an agent. So where normally an agent, in my case, if somebody asked, where do you practice? Any normal agent would say, I sell houses in Maryland. What I tell people is I'm a global agent. When the internet and the marketing through internet is making the world smaller, why not we also leverage that and say we are a global agent? On average, now the Bob Lucido team, we are in 26 US states, just the team. We are growing. We are in 2 states in Canada. I have a relationship here in Dubai with Farouk. And I'm constantly giving referrals to agents all over the world. Last week, I gave a referral in Portugal. 2 weeks before that, I sent a referral to UK. So telling your database that, go tell your family and friends that your agent can find them a top-notch agent anywhere in the world. Anywhere. And so they come back to ask to find the agent. So that got me leverage B2B relationships. Even with vendors, what I do is, if you think about my business, for example, I am in real estate sales. What are the vendors attached to real estate? I came up with a list of 70 vendors, actually. But just to name a few: plumber, roofer, electrician, architect, gardener, landscape architect, interior designer. The list goes on. Okay. What I did was I made an Excel spreadsheet and I started putting names of vendors from each of those categories in an Excel spreadsheet. Then what I started doing was I started to take these people to lunch. Like, let's go have lunch with me, or have breakfast with me, or have coffee with me. Let's talk about your business. Now, keep in mind, I never told them what I do. I focused on their business. So if you are a plumber and I've taken you out to coffee and I'm telling you, Mr. Plumber, what can I do to get you more business? What are your areas? If I wanted to market you to my database and get you more business, would that make you happy? Now, after throwing my services and my ideas at him, at some point this person will be like, my God, you're doing so much for me. What can I do for you? And keep in mind, a typical seller will first start fixing their houses before they put it in the market. So now my vendors call me and say, so and so is getting ready to put their house in the market. They're looking for a realtor. I put your name. Yeah. Yeah. So 90% of my business actually now is referral based, word of mouth. Um, I'm treasurer for our county Women's Council of Realtors. Again, I was selected to be in the board. Something I thought, okay, more community work. Fine. If that gets me more networking with other agents. So now other agents, when I'm writing an offer on their property, they actually receive the offer and say, wow, we were waiting to work with you. We finally probably get to work with you because you've sent us an offer. So I've already built the reputation and the networking with these agents before I even send them an offer from my client. Public speaking. That's next. Build an omni-channel approach to marketing strategy. Um, Harness the concept of being the star of your market. You know, through this public speaking, I get to go to different places. Now, Keller Williams sends me to different states when they're having a mastermind summit or a Keller Williams family reunion or a mega agent camp. I'm one of the speakers at these events. They are benefiting from my knowledge and skills, but what I'm benefiting is networking with other agents. Other agents seeing me speak at a platform, they know I'm from Maryland. If you're an agent in California and you've heard me speak, I will be the first person you'll think of when you're sending a referral to Maryland. So, leveraging public speaking to grow the network, because keep in mind, your network is your net worth. When you speak like a leader, you become a thought leader and you start doing things like a thought leader. It changes your perspective eventually. Another advantage of public speaking. Advertising. Um, I not only advertise on social media, but then there's the newsletters, there's the print media like magazines or digital ad. These magazines nowadays, they have the digital version also. So I try to leverage all that with my advertising. And mind you, we were just talking about AI with some of you, and AI is going to be incredible, in my opinion, when we are going to target market through social media to people who are, like, if I'm selling a $2 million house, is it going to help me to target $200,000, $300,000 house people? No, it's not going to help me. I'm going to try to see who's making at least $500,000 in income to be able to afford a $2 million house. So target marketing, using artificial intelligence to see who are searching in that area, in that price range, and target market them. Most agents don't know this. But this is, I feel that the marketing dollar we spend, that is a better way to leverage and really go to the people who actually will act on it. Why waste the money on people who can't afford a $2 million house? So breaking the status quo, it was created to be broken. And we go to the marketing in tomorrow's world with the digital marketing, the press, and using community services to get more in front of people, face to face, belly to belly, talking to people, growing our network through that, giving back to the community through charities, and building a brand, not just a local brand, but a global brand. Showing people that just because I live in Maryland doesn't mean that I cannot get you an agent or a house anywhere in the world. Growing a global brand. Thinking outside the box, getting more creative. That is the path to tomorrow's marketing. I'm going to share a video which I created for my niche community. I call it my heroes video. And the topic of the video is, I found my American dream, let's find yours. As a minority and first-generation immigrant, I've always been passionate about helping people from different cultures see how their heritage and lifestyle can seamlessly coexist in America. I stop at nothing to provide my clients with a better life while still maintaining the culture and community that serves as their identity. I have dedicated my career to breaking the status quo and working differently. From my client concierge to our in-house architect, my bespoke level of service to my clients is unmatched. After all, my culture prides itself on hospitality and community. It's in my nature and is non-negotiable for my clients. As the co-founder of Women for Empowerment, a nonprofit empowering underserved women globally, and a proud member of the Muslim Council in Maryland, I have been a voice of change and advocate for all. Whatever your next step in life is, I'm here to help you harness your authenticity and begin that next chapter. I found my American dream, let's find yours. So this is the time when I ask everyone what questions you have for me.
Do we have any questions for you guys? I think you pretty much said it all, Samina. I'll tell you what, I hope you do some acting and presenting because you look fabulous on camera. I mean, really, really. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you do a personal brand video. It really is. That is the benchmark of how you do that. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing
you.
your wonderful success story. Samina Chowdhury, everybody. Fantastic, brilliant stuff. Truly an inspiration, and honestly, that is really how you do a video. I've seen some in my time, and that is really how you do it. It's good stuff. Thank you, Samina. Thank you so much.